We gonna learn about this AWS Lambda function. Yesterday we already learned about the Python, and we have also seen that how we can go and use the Boto3 library. So if anybody have any doubt from the previous class, that is Python and the Boto3 library, so they can ask me. Otherwise, we can start somehow related topic, that is like AWS Lambda function. Anybody have any doubt from the yesterday class? Yeah. So I was saying that if anybody have any doubt from the yesterday class, so they can ask me. Otherwise, we can start the topic of AWS Lambda function. No. Okay. So yeah, that's totally fine. If nobody have any question. So now, we are going to learn about the the topic called the AWS Lambda function, and let's start with why it is required and from where it came. Okay. So before we actually start and dig into this AWS Lambda function, let's talk about the EC2. And so let's talk about the EC2. So EC2 is a service which allow you to create the virtual servers, right? You always create the virtual servers to run some kind of applications. It can be web applications, it can be any other application. Okay. So you create the EC2 instance to run your applications, right? So you have seen that running an application on EC2 requires some time, right? That means like you have to go and configure the EC2 instance from the beginning. You have to go and configure the EC2 instance from the beginning. Then only you will be able to run the application. Let's say that I wanted to run the application like Apache. So I have to install Apache. I have to configure Apache, and I have to install a couple of other dependencies, right? And then only I will be able to host a website. If I wanted to run any PHP application or maybe Node.js, then I have to install the applications, the packages like PHP or maybe the Node.js, right? So that is one thing, that if you wanted to run any application, then you have to go and launch the EC2 instance, and then you need to configure that is EC2 instance from the beginning. Then only you will be able to perform some activity. Now the problem here is that it takes time, and it takes almost like 2, 3, 4 minutes, and in some cases it take more time also. Now this problem got resolved by using Docker. we have also learned about Docker, right? So this problem got resolved by Docker. That Docker says that your application is portable. That means you can configure a container and you can configure an image. That image will create the container for you, right? So the benefit is like uh, you can define the whole configuration, all the dependencies in a single image, and that image can run your application. So pretty fast. That is one difference between the EC2 instance and the Docker. That Docker allow you to run the applications very fast. Like within a fraction of seconds, your application is up and running. So that is one benefit. Now there is like it totally depend upon the choice. Like what is your choice? So if you wanted to run any Docker container or any Docker application, any application on Docker container, then you have to go and configure the EC2 instance. That's fine, like that is one-time task. And then you need to run the container on top of it. Yeah, that is also fine. Yeah, but the thing is, like you can see here that it required you to have the knowledge of this EC2 instance, the virtual machines, maybe the physical machines. It also required you to have a knowledge about the networking, because we have to go and understand the networking process when we have multiple containers with us, right? So you need to think about the networking also. So, and then it required the competencies or the knowledge of the Docker and other stuff, right? So you need like bunch of knowledge in order to run a simple application. And maybe it's not your choice that as of now you want to learn all these things. It is just your requirement that where you wanted to run your application. Okay, so you wanted to make your application up and running, and you wanted to pay the low amount of cost. So AWS Lambda function says that you don't have to spin up any of the EC2 instance. You don't have to spin up any of the container. You just define all the configuration. You just define basically the code, and we will be running that code for you, right? If you wanted to execute any code in our environment, so give the code as a bundle, and then we will execute that code for you, and within a fraction of seconds you will be having the output, right? So now the people can ask that why I should be using this AWS Lambda function. So one thing which I see here is that it required less competencies. You only require to focus on your code, not on the infrastructure side, right? Because you don't have to manage anything. All the things will be get managed by the AWS. So that is one thing. Like when you don't require to manage the infrastructure, then AWS Lambda function is a good choice. On the other hand, it also adds the complexities when you want to execute a very big program, right? A tremendous, enormous amount of program, bigger size of program on your AWS Lambda function. That is one thing. It adds complexity, but on the other hand, it says that you don't have to manage the infrastructure your own. That will be spin up by the AWS. The other thing is like AWS says it will be charging you only for the amount your code executes. That means you will be paying less amount of cost to run any application on AWS Lambda. Okay, so you will be paying less amount to run any of the application on AWS Lambda function. Okay. So this is like, I think like these are two major things which I see in case of AWS Lambda function, that yes, like, it really allow you to pay a very low amount of cost. Even in case of free tier, we have 1 million requests is free for AWS Lambda function, so it is not going to charge. And in companies also, like, it is very beautiful time to switch to the serverless computing, AWS Lambda function. Serverless computing it is. So you have to, and you will be paying only for the amount of time you use or your code executes. If your code execute for 150 milliseconds, so you will be paying the cost only for 115 150 seconds, right? So that's the benefit of the AWS Lambda function. Now I think that you guys have the enough clarity about the thing that what is AWS Lambda function, right? And a lot of time we also refer this AWS Lambda function as a serverless computing, because you are not managing any server, your own, right? You are not managing your server, your own. The code is being executed, and it is executed on the infrastructure which is being managed by the AWS. So let's try to create a function, and let's see, like, how it is working. So first of all, you have to go to the service section, and then you need to go and click on this Lambda. Once you go and click on this Lambda, then this page will open, and I'm in this Mumbai region, right? So go and click on this create function. Then we have like a couple of options: author from scratch, use a blueprint. So you can always use a blueprint. There are like a couple of blueprints available, right? And I'm going to click on this author from scratch. Give a function name. So let's say that I wanted to give a function name iLearn, right? Now you have to go and choose your application, like whether it is Go, whether it is Java, or Python 3.8, Ruby 2.7, .NET, Java 8, Node.js. So we have like a bunch of options available. Okay, you can provide your own bootstrap. So that is also like custom runtime. Okay. So let me go and go with this Python 3.7. This is what we have used yesterday. Now you need to define permission. As of now, I will be leaving it default. Let's if I just go and click on this, so you can say like create a new role with basic Lambda permissions. So Lambda always require a permissions to write something in the CloudWatch, right? I know that I know you know about this CloudWatch. But let me revise that CloudWatch is a service which essentially allow you to look for the logs, right? So the Lambda function logs will be get saved in the CloudWatch log group. Now let's go and click on this create function. So it is going to create a new role with basic Lambda permission. Create function. Sorry. So it takes like a couple of seconds to make it available. And you can also read this statement: Lambda will create an execution role named. Okay, that's fine. Fine. So now we have this function available, and you can see like we have a couple of options available: configuration, permission, and the monitoring. Right. So if I go and click on this permission, so you can see that the IAM role got created, right? And this got created because we have chosen one option, create a basic permission, and you can see like it have the permission of this AWS CloudWatch log. Okay. So if I say where the log will be available, so the log will be available here. We will be having log group AWS Lambda, and then we will be having iLearn kind of log group available to us. Okay. So these three permissions are given to us to this Lambda function, that is like create log group, okay, and create log stream and put log events. These three things. And if I go and click on actions or action, so these are the things available to us, and I will show you from the IAM also. That's fine. You can always go and click on this view role document. So okay, so you can see like here we have these two actions, and we should be having one more action right here. Yep. So here like we have one more action. So total we have like 3 actions available, and you can also see, as we have learned earlier about the trusted entity, so you can always see that the trusted entity is lambda.aws Amazon AWS.com, right? So this is what we call trusted entity. Okay. Okay, close it. You can also monitor it. So by clicking on this monitor tab, you will be having the CloudWatch metrics, which says like invocations, how many time it have invoked, and duration, how many like seconds or milliseconds you have used, and then error count and success rate, that kind of thing, iterator age, and so all these things are available to us. And we also have this CloudWatch log insights, so the logs will be available here. That means like you can basically see our dashboard by configuring a dashboard for you. Okay, fine. Now let's go to the original content where we need to go, that is like configuration. So this is the place where you will be doing all this stuff for you. Okay, so configuration, and now you can see like all these things, function code. So and here you have chosen code entry type is edit code in line, then runtime is Python 3.7. you can also change it, and then handler. So handler is like important part as of now. So you can see like the handler is a lambda function, lambda underscore function. So this is the handler, and so basically this is the file lambda underscore function, and after dot we have this lambda handler. So this is the name of the function which is inside the code. So yesterday you have seen that we created a function by using def keyword, right? We created a function by using def keyword, and then we executed that function by just giving a name of that function, right? Remember? Okay. So that is so whenever you wanted to execute your lambda function, then you have to go and define the name of the file, and you also need to define a function which is available in that file which you want to execute. Okay, now all the files which you will be having in your code or the function will be available right here. And let me tell you mention one thing over here, that this added code inline will only work if the size of the code is less than 8 MB. If the size of the code is less than 8 MB, then only this code inline will work. Otherwise, if the size increased, so you will not be able to update the things right by using this code editor. So you can see like we have only one file, lambda underscore function dot py, and then it says that it has content import JSON, and then it says that it have a function def, and the name of the function is lambda handler. And you can see like this is the function which we are executing from here, by defining here in the handler section. So now in this, whenever you execute your functions, in that case it has two things. The first is like event, the second thing is context. So event is like what event you wanted to pass to this lambda function, and we will be talking about this event soon. And we have context, whenever you wanted to get the information about the lambda function itself, and then it's known as context, right? Okay, so before I show you the event portion, let me go and execute this code. And let's go. And first of all, you have to go and create a event, right? So create an event. You need to go and click on this configure test event from the right hand side. Go and click on this, and here let me give the event name. So let's say the event name is I learn, right? And so I'm going to like I'm not going to provide any of the input as of now, and I will be clicking on this create. So this has been saved. Now I can go and test my function, right? So what will happen, this file will execute lambda underscore function, and after that we have this lambda underscore handler. So this function will execute. Now go and click on this test, and you can see like we got some output that says hello from lambda, right? We also have a status code here which is defined in the return itself. So yesterday I forgot to mention one thing, that whenever you execute your function, right? So in that case, you can always define this return thing. So return will say that, you know, whenever your function get executed successfully, so it will always return you this thing. So this is what is happening. So you can see like this portion is getting returned by this code, right? Now you might observe that, you know, yesterday what we defined, that if we wanted to execute this function, so what we were doing, like we were calling this function right here. Okay, we were calling this function right here, and we were passing some of the inputs like age and something. But as of now, this is not happening. What we are doing instead, like we are just creating a function, and then we are testing it from here. So when you define the things in AWS Lambda function, then you have to go and define that which function you wanted to execute. That's it. You know, it will go and automatically execute. If you wanted to pass any data, then you have to go and define the things in your events. Let me show you. So let's say that, you know, I wanted to print the event, right? So let's say that I wanted to print the event which I'm going to pass. So instead of the whole return and everything, what I can do, I can say return event, right? Okay. So what all thing I will be giving, it should go and return the event. So let's go and save this thing as of now, the code and everything, and let's try to execute. So we haven't passed any return, and let's see like what is happening. So you can see like we got the empty response because we haven't passed anything in the event section. Now what we can do, we can configure the event once again. We can configure the event once again. We can go and click on this configure test events, and then we can define the keys and values here. So whenever you wanted to pass any of the input in the event, you have to go and define the things in key and value, just like our dictionary. We learned about dictionary yesterday, right? Where we used to pass the things in key and value format. So you have to go and define the key in a double quote. So let's say the key is name, and then you need to define this value for the name. So let's say the value is Israru. Okay. Now, so I'm going to save this thing as of now. So let's go ahead and save this thing, and the value of a name of the event will be I learn only. I'm not going to create a new event. So let's go ahead and save it. It's saved. I don't think. No. The name is, and you need to make sure that you give the value in double quote only. Israru. Click on save. And now what should happen? Before I try to execute, just imagine that what will happen. So in this response, we should be having something to print, right? And that is what we are going to print this event. So we are passing name and the value of that name. So let's go and save and test this thing. So you can see like we got the response, and that is like name and this Israru, right? So this is how exactly you work around with AWS Lambda function. And let me show you some interesting facts about the AWS Lambda function. You can see here that this code is taking almost 1.37 milliseconds. So you are getting charged only for minimum amount of billing, that is 100 milliseconds. Fine. and your memory consumption is okay, it is not showing you the memory consumption, but you can see like this code having a memory consumption of 128 MB, you know. And if you wanted to pass any kind of environment variable, so you can pass by using this environment variable, and you can also manage the tags and everything. If you wanted to troubleshoot, so you can also troubleshoot by using the AWS X-ray. So that is what we have. And you can see here that if the code is taking more than 3 seconds, so in that case, the code should expire or timeout basically. So that is what the timeout is. Then we have this memory that is 128, and you can always go and click on the info. And this says that this setting allow you to control the code execution performance and cost for your Lambda function. And there is one thing to note: if you are giving this timeout, like as not timeout, if you're like giving the memory more than, you know, 128 MB, so in that case, even you execute your code once or twice, so that memory will be getting used by your code, and you will get charged for that amount of memory. So you should not give a overvalue. So now if I try to go and click on this added, so you will see that we can go and give the like this number can increase up to 15. You can see like 915 minutes. So you can write a code 6131. Yeah. So this is the maximum value which you can give, and the memory which you can give to your code is almost 3 GB. You know, 3008 MB. Okay, and this role is being attached with your Lambda function. So if I try to open this role in IAM, so you will see that, you know, you will see few of the informations, and I think like you might be interested to know. So this Lambda function having couple of permissions to perform some actions. So you can see like, you know, this is the policy name, and this is a random created policy name, and these are the permissions which you have already seen. So we have like 3 permissions given to this Lambda function. And if you try to click on this trust relationships, so you will see like, you know, we have this lambda.amazonaws.com, right? So if you wanted to give more permissions to your Lambda function, so you can always click on this permission and then attach policy. So that is how you add more permissions to a Lambda function. Sometimes it is required to perform some kind of actions. Let's say that you wanted to stop the EC2 instance. So in that case, you will be using a role which, you know, which can go and perform these actions. Okay. So any question till now? Any question till now from this? Satish, Shruti, Sudhir, Venkat, any question from this?
No.
Hello.
Okay. What about others? Shruti and Sudhir?
I'm good.
Okay. So that's fine, and so we can now try to activate. We can try to do the same activity that we have done yesterday. And before we actually do that thing, I want to show you the final thing from this CloudWatch. That, you know, whenever you execute a code, so you will see this execution result succeeded or not, and this will allow you to troubleshoot your code a lot. So you can see like, you know, we have this response and everything, and you can watch this same thing in the CloudWatch. So if you executed your code and later on you wanted to check that, you know, it is functioning properly or not. So you can always open the CloudWatch. And I will just show you from the beginning that once you open the CloudWatch, so you will be having this page, right? You will be having this page. So you can go and click on this log groups from the navigation menu, and then go and click on this. And here you will always see this log group name prefix. So you, for AWS, it is always AWS/Lambda, and then the name of the Lambda function. So why I'm typing this, so that you can actually come to know how we can go and search for the things. It is like always AWS/Lambda. And in production environment, you will find like a lot of Lambda functions, maybe 100, maybe 200, maybe more than that. Yeah. So that's what, like, typing sometimes is easy process. So go and click on this, and now you can see that we have two log streams available, and which one is latest? So 529 is the latest one. I will just go and click on this, and you can see, like, we got like two logs here, and so this is one, and this is showing you in UTC time. So it is like 5 hour. So we are like 5 hour 30 minutes ahead. So if you just calculate the time, so it will be 23:59, like that. So I can click on this drop down and see like what had happened. So you can see, like, our code got executed and successfully, but we don't see any log here, right? We don't see any log here. So we are not able to find out that what is happening. And it is really important to know that what is happening. Okay. So what we try to do, we also try to log the informations that this section got executed successfully. So how we can go and log the information? As I say, always do Google. This Google is a great tool. AWS Lambda logging. Search for this keyword, and you will be having a couple of pages in front of you. And you can see like AWS Lambda function logging in Java, AWS Lambda function logging in Python, logging in Node.js. So we wanted to read about this logging in Python. Just go and click on this, and now you can see, like, if you wanted to log the information, then the best practice is where it is. Yep, right here. So first of all, you have to import a library. So import and the module name, basically logging, and then you have to create an object. Yesterday we created one object called client. Client is equal to client.ec2. Remember. So now we are creating an object called logger, and then this logger object have the method this set label, and then logging.info, right? And then we are trying to execute or trying to mention all these things right here. Okay, so that this is what exactly I'm going to do. So let's try to do this thing. So let's minimize or scroll down. As of now, we are not doing anything, so I will say, okay, first of all, we have to import a module, that is import logging. And this logging comes by default in Python, so that's why, like, we don't have to upload all the files and everything, so we can just simply import it. Okay, then remember, we have to go and create a object. We can say like logger is equal to, what was that? Yep, so a logger is equal to logging dot get logger, logging dot get logger. And we need to say logger dot set label. So we wanted to say that we wanted to get the info label. So you can also say like debug. So like here you can say logging dot info, right? So this is one thing. Now in your code, you can use this object. So let's see like how we can go and do this. So you can say like logger.info, and then this information inside this single quote will be get logged for us, and that is what we have the environment variable as of now. And so we're gonna use the whole thing right here. So we will say like, okay, go and copy the whole stuff from here and go and paste it in this section. So we have this logger.info environment variable, and we have this logger.info os.environment. And then we are also saying that, now we are going to print the event thing. So it is like basically logger.info, it is printing, right? And it is inside this double quote or single quote, that means like it is just a line or a statement. And then if we are not giving inside the single quote, then it is a variable which value will be get fetched. So you can see like, we have using this os dot environment. That means like we have to go and import the another library, that is os import os. Okay, and now you want to get the environment, right? So os dot environment. So let's try to print all these stuff. So first of all, let's go and save it and click on this test. See, we got some kind of error in line number 2. So it says syntax error in lambda function, invalid syntax lambda function line 2. So we have one error in line 2. So what kind of error it is? Are we missing something? So we have this import, we have this import OS, we have this import login. Let me go and copy this stuff from here in and let's go and save it. Now test it. See, it got executed successfully, and it's now still we have a response called this one. And sometime it is good if we go and give a response of success. So let's go and click on save once again. So we have saved the changes. Now go and click on this test. So you can see now the successes. The success is the response, right? Now what we can do, we can scroll up, or we can see the whole thing right here. Okay, we can see the whole thing right here. And even you can go to the cloud watch. You can go to the cloud watch and go to this log group, and you can see like we got like couple of log streams. So now go and click on this latest one, and now you can see like we are printing the environment variable. So you can see like the environment variable which we have given inside the single quote in our program, and then we have this. So you can see like it is printing the whole information. So you can see like this information which is highlighted, info and then date and all these stuff. This is coming because we have defined logging.info, right? So we created, we set the log label as info. That's why it is showing us, these informations. Then the environment variable got printed here also. So you can see like the complete information about the environment variable. Okay, so this is what we have as environment variable, and you can also see that we got something here. We have something called the access, AWS access key, and the AWS secret key, and this is something temporary. Yeah, this is something temporary. So Now what we can do, we can we can and you can also see one thing, that AWS default reason is AP South 1. Okay, AP South 1. Now here now the next which was the next statement was like event, and this is what we printed in the event, and we wanted to print the event, that what all thing we have given in the event section, and then finally our code exited, right? Okay, so now let's try to do the same activity which we have done yesterday. So now what I wanted to do, I wanted to create a new Lambda function. Okay, I wanted to create a new Lambda function, and I wanted to start or run the new EC2 instance, right? So let me see if the code is available in my desktop. If anybody have any doubts, so they can ask me meanwhile.
Actually, I have office work to do. I'm in the middle of my work, so I'm logging off. I will catch up with the recording.
Can you please be a little bit louder? Your voice is not that much clear.
I have actually office work to do, so I will catch up with the recording tomorrow. So I'm logging off right away.
Okay, yeah, that's totally fine. No issue. Make sure that you at least try to go through, the file and everything. So that will allow you to, learn more about these things. But make sure that by the end of the week, you try to practice this stuff. That should be fine.
Yeah, yeah, sure, definitely.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
So, most welcome. So now let's let's try to open the folder, and this is the folder which I created. Okay, and yeah, so this is what we created yesterday, right? This is what we created yesterday. Now what we have to do, like what we can do actually, we can copy the whole stuff. And you can see like we haven't defined, the access key and secret key in our client. So we have copied the whole stuff, and we can go back to our AWS Lambda function. Go to this. Okay, so I was about to create a new Lambda function, right? So let me go and click on the function, and click on this create function. Just trying to show you that how this thing works, and say EC2 start, and the Python runtime is Python 3.7. And choose or create a execution role. So what I will do, like I will try to create a new execution role which has the permission for EC2. So create a new role from AWS template, and here I can say like EC2 Lambda, and then like iTech. Okay, so this role will be get created in my account. Now I can like choose the policy template, and what is my requirement? My requirement is to launch the EC2 instance. So let's see like if we can search from here. No, we don't have any. All are read only. They are not meeting our requirement. Okay, so I will say like AWS batch access permission, and once this role will be available, then I will go and check the permission, and then we'll add like couple of other permissions if needed. And one thing, like this Lambda function really require the permissions to create the EC2 instance, so we need to make sure that the Lambda function have the permission. Click on this create function, so it will create a function within couple of seconds. Okay, so you can see like the whole information about the code. So I will just go and paste the every information which we have, and yeah. And now we want to log these information. So yeah, like printing is fine. Seems good, right? Now we have only one thing that we want to execute this portion. We wanted to execute this portion. So how do we ensure that we execute this portion? So we have to add this portion inside our we have to execute this portion inside our Lambda function, right? And the name of the Lambda function is Lambda handler. So I can give a customized name here by using def, and I can say like start EC2 instance. I can say like start EC2, and here we can pass this event and then context. And then once we define the Lambda function, so we always need to say this column, hit enter. So you can see like now we have to go and add all the content after this indentation, like 4 white spaces. So I'm going to add all these things after the indentation. Okay. Now because we are in the Mumbai region, so we know that this is one valid AMI available, and the EC2 type is T2.micro, and everything else seems to be valid information here. So now let's go and just save this thing, and now meanwhile let's also verify the permission for this Lambda function. So I will just go and scroll down and see the IAM role attached. So the IAM role is available in the permission section. So I will just go and see the batch information. See, so we have only these permissions. So what I will do, like I will go to this role name, and we'll added the permission for EC2 instance. So the role will be having the permission for EC2 instance. Attach policy, and so here I can say like EC2 full access. Then attach policy. So now if I try to refresh this page from somewhere, so you will see that it has permissions. If it haven't reflected here, but it will surely show here after a couple of refreshing something. Now let's go back to our the main section, that is configuration. So we are inside this configuration. Okay. Now we have defined here that start EC2 is the name of the function. So we need to make sure that we say that we wanted to execute this function. So let's go and copy this thing and paste it right here. Say save. Now let's try to execute this thing. So it is asking us to configure the event, and we can say like temp and something, and we don't have to pass any of the event here, so we can simply remove all of them, and then let's go and save this thing or create this thing. Now let's go and test this thing, right? So we didn't got any kind of response because we haven't defined any return thing in the code. And so we can also go and scroll up and see, like, what happened exactly. Scroll up, and it has given all the log here, and we can see that our new instance ID. So we got our instance to be created, and if we try to go to the EC2 service, so we should see the EC2 instance right here. See, now you must be thinking that how without passing the access key and secret key, how it got created. So as I've shown you, the environment variable. So environment variable had this access key and secret key, because when you attach a role and you execute that Lambda function, so it gets the temporary access to the resources to which you have given permission. Fine, right? That's really great that this code is working. Okay, any question from this? What happened, guys? Like, are you able to follow all the instructions? Is it fine, or like I have given so many inputs? Okay, so the last thing that we are going to learn, about this Lambda is that we can also go. Is anybody saying something? Your voice is not audible. There is a disturbance. Hello. Okay. Last thing I wanted to show here that how we can go and trigger this Lambda function from different things. So not only this, like you can also trigger this Lambda function automatically, right? So that is also one of the great thing about the Lambda function. That is also one of the great thing about the Lambda function, that you can execute this Lambda function indirectly, not manually, indirectly. Let's say that whenever you push any of the object to the S3 bucket, whenever any of the EC2 instances get launched, so in that case you wanted to get notify yourself or anything else, so in that case you can use this Lambda function also, right? So now I wanted to do one thing, like whenever anybody upload any code to the S3 bucket, so in that case this Lambda function should get executed and launch an instance for us, right? So that is what we're going to do as of now. So we can always say like add trigger, and then you can choose like from where you wanted to trigger this Lambda function, whether the CloudWatch, log, and events, or like something else, right? So, and I'm gonna choose S3. So let's say S3. You can choose your bucket. So the bucket should be available. This Rarul iTech bucket which we created earlier. And events, like all object create event. So whenever we try to, so not all object, I will say like if somebody try to put an object, put that means like uploading an object to the S3 bucket. Okay. So whenever anybody try to upload any object, so in that case, there is no relation actually. The practical use, that is what I'm going to demonstrate. but sometimes it can be requirement that whenever anybody try to delete your object from the bucket, so in that case you should get notified uh, by using the email address. But in order to get notified, you have to go and write that code in your Lambda function. So let's scroll down and say save or add, and you can see like enable trigger. And even you can also say that like suffix should be .jpg or .pdf, something like that. Go and add this thing. So the trigger has been added now. We can also add the destination. So let's go and see what we have in the destination. So you can always say like the type of the invocation that map to the destination is asynchronous invocation, stream invocation, and like these things. And you can also get notified to this SNS topic SQS Lambda function. So you can invoke this Lambda function, and then if it got succeed, then you can also invoke the another Lambda function from this Lambda function. So that is when you choose the Lambda function. You can choose the SNS topic when you wanted to get notified by using the email and something. Okay. Now we have this event bridge, event bus also. So that's great. A great effort by AWS. They are really doing great. Okay, so you can see like we have configured this S3 iTech, right? And now what I wanted to show you that as soon as I upload any of the code to the S3 bucket or any of the file, in that case, what it should do, like it should launch one EC2 instance by triggering this Lambda function, by triggering this Lambda function. Remember, this is very, very important word. By triggering, by executing this Lambda function. And you can see like as of now I have clicked on this S3, so I cannot see anything else. I don't have option to scroll down. So I need to make sure that I go and click on this EC2 start. Okay, then only this function code will be available to us. Now let's go back to this S3 management console, and we have this bucket Srarul iTech. Now let's go and upload something in this bucket. So I will say like add file, and let me see if we have any file here. Yeah, so this file. I will just go and try to upload this file. Now after a couple of seconds, this Lambda function will be get executed, and we will not able to see the execution from right here. What we have to do, we have to go to the CloudWatch, and we need to see if the code get executed at 6.5, around 6.5 basically. So let's go and check this log stream. So I'm gonna check like UTC to IST time. So it is like 12:36, right? Go back to the CloudWatch. So that means like we haven't received the log yet. Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to check this alert. My bad. I have to go back and click on this log group, and you can see like we have the another log group called EC2 start. Click on this, and Here we should be having a new log. At least we may find some of the information right here itself. Okay. So 1227, right? So yes, this got executed, and now we can see like we got the new instance ID EE6 EEC50. So if I try to go back to my EC2 instance, so I should see, okay, one instance is already there. Let's go and click on this refresh, and you can see like, we got one new instance AAF2. So if I try to go back to the CloudWatch, so the log should be visible somewhere. AAF2. 557. I think we didn't got the log for that execution. Okay, that's fine. But you can see like, the EC2 instance got executed successfully, and the Lambda function got executed successfully, and now we have this new new EC2 instance with us. So this is how it works. Let me go and terminate this instance. So this is how you also trigger the Lambda function, by using the any other service. And sometimes you also need to trigger this Lambda function from the API gateway. So you will be getting one kind of work where you have to go and trigger the API, Lambda function from the API gateway. So as soon as anybody try to access the data from the, from your website, from the API, then you need to execute your Lambda function. So that is also one thing, which you can do. Okay, so this is all about the AWS Lambda function, and this is all about the Python and everything. So we learned a very important portion of the DevOps. Now I think like you must be having some confidence, and you will be able to scale yourself more than at least like 6 on this AWS Lambda function and the Python. But do not forget that you have to practice. The practice will only allow you to learn more about it. Okay, so do you guys have any questions from this topic?
No, right now I'm good.
Okay, so guys, if you guys don't have any question as of now, so what we can do, we can wrap up for the day. Try to practice this stuff. This is really important, at least try to write a simple code, whatever possible, and try to do those things from the EC2, uh, from the Lambda function. And let me know if you got any kind of error and something. Yeah. So shall we wrap up for the day? Okay, guys, then thank you. I think like today you need some of the break, so that's fine. We'll see you tomorrow then. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, bye bye.